Hello everybody and welcome to Sagittarius time. So as of today, November the 22nd, we will be having 30 days of Saggy time. So happy birthday to all Saggies, and hopefully this reading finds you well. So what actually I figured out over the 2 months of obsessing and finding the balance between what I can do and what I want to do, I would love that everybody gets hour to 2 to 3 hours readings, but it just reality is I don't have that much time. So what I'll be doing, each birthday sign each month is going to have a little bigger reading. However, I'm going to go to the old format where we will have tarot and gypsy and Lenormand, and it was a winner. All of you liked it because it targets all of you, single, relationship, on and off. The other people we kind of like can get laid off the land. Also guys, before I forget, please, I'm just about to finish my annual scopes, and this is the last call for a pre-order price. Until the 4th of the month, for each individual scope it's $19.95, and for all of them it's $39.95. I have actually placed a preview. Wait for the end of this video and you will be able to click and get a really preview for the next year, so you can decide if this is what you want. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump. It is December 2017. We are finalizing the year. Hi Aquarius, and welcome to 2017 December. So it's actually the end of November/December, and the spirit should actually cover even a little bit of January. So let's see what's going to be happening, given that we are going through very Mercury retrograde / turbulent times, right? We are near sign, it's going to affect us a little bit more. So the very first card from Earth Magic Oracle deck is like this rainbow serpent, right? Which is also called generations. And the Australian Aboriginals, right, are considering their ancestors the core of their spirituality and culture. And this rainbow serpent, basically, which is who they consider the spirit being that created all of life on earth, intertwines herself through basically the hand's fingers, right? So that's basically a representation of how these Aboriginals honor all of the creation. So what is basically our ancestry? Is it our parents? Is it our grandparents? Is it like 100 generations before us, 1,000? What did that people bring to us? We kind of like almost like don't have that family tree anymore. We kind of see the immediate and off you go. So even our life is becoming instantaneous, especially for the Aquarians. We are just like so forward looking, right? And even though we inherited the blood of our ancestors, where did we get the soul from? Is this coming from the same place, right? So this is telling us that we actually are deeply connected to our lineage, right? The most immediate proof of that is like our physical resemblance that we have to our mother and father, and maybe even our grandparents. However, beyond that, although it is unknown to our just regular senses or usual senses, we do connect to an ancestry that reaches back through the millennia. So this is going to be the month for us to call upon those ancestors, those who are our bloodline, and kind of like summon their powers to us. We can do it. We have it already inside of us. It is in our blood. So allow your senses to connect. Even though we are a forward-looking sign, we are sometimes neglecting what is something right under our nose. So this is understanding that it's not only blood inside of us, because this is obviously representing this creation of every live thing on the planet. But we are not the only one who is alive. There are also trees, the water, air, animals. And they also have their quote-unquote blood, right? Which is the dirt and sand and soil that we actually daily traverse on, right? So we have to look and connect with what is it that we are and why did we get here, how many people were there before us to get us here, right? And also allow ourselves to connect with everything, because this is just telling there is like this big, circle around us, circle that kind of does make sense. And looks like making sense is like something that we do very well, and sometimes we need to we need to make sense because we need to heal. So I really wanted just 2 cards for this general overview, but then these 2 cards flicked, which more or less we'll get as a addition and maybe clarification of this card. So healing, but check it out, healing on all levels. Healing basically in our solar plexus, healing our confidence, feeling strong within who we are, knowing who we are, knowing what has been provided for us, how difficult maybe was life for many, what would our ancestors want us to have or to do. It's kind of like really important. And also how we process things, how we think. Maybe sometimes we spend too much time in our heads and not enough in heart. And yet, look how heart is showing as its own system, its own mechanism. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's showing lotus. And it takes us a while to open it up and trust. It's kind of easier to trust to humankind than an individual person. It's always the case. But I mean, looks like these lotus flowers are opening on all our chakras. And we are possibly getting finally into the stage that we can heal. We are reaching this place where we go, I am home. And this is kind of like understanding I'm here for a reason. This whole culture that is telling us, oh, like you have to be important or famous or have money, doesn't matter. Especially on Aquarians, this doesn't apply. So we are really getting to understand who we are, because nobody wants to tell you that this is the key and that is the key. When you know that, when you are strong and you have this core and you do not you resist other people telling you who you are, instead knowing really well who you are, and yet you're doing no harm and you're doing good, then you become dangerous, because you know who you are. You win. So let's see why this came. Existence and consciousness. Hey, interestingly enough. Okay, so is this that somebody's covering our vision, or maybe saying that maybe certain things we are overthinking? Because this is what it will tell me. Again, it is Buddha's third eye chakra opening, which is that vision, which is like not only where we came from, but where we are going. Somehow, to some extent, they have been lies or self-lies, or maybe other people kind of stunt our growth, because this is an Ace of Swords and this is the Magician, both once. We are restarting. It looks like we resetted our hard drive. We are kind of getting into this grounding feeling, knowing who we are. And look at that, this is this nakedness. And remember, our card, the Star, is also naked, because it talks about shoot upon the star. Whenever I see this card in this particular deck, I always think about the Star card, even though this card in particular is more or less talking about Gemini. So there is like this lotus leaf that has to bubble up, but we are the flower that is opening, naked, newborn. We are like newly born. And we are having our place into this that now makes sense. So we're going to stop lying to ourselves over something, or stop maybe fitting, a square peg in a round hole. It's going to be completely different from this point on. So let's see the other elements and see how it kind of like works out to down to earth level. Hi Aquarius. Okie dokie, let's see what we see here. This is the tarot overview, so it is kind of really interesting because I have 2 majors reversed, but I also have 2 nines. So I really think we will be putting our head to our work this month. We'll be trying to strategize what kind of causes our anxiety. I have a feeling that many Aquarians have been going through a period that has been very upsetting. and trying to figure out the way out of a solution, and trying to kind of like deal with things that have kind of like came to the surface, or maybe resurface something from the past. Life got in the way and our plans have been derailed. We literally have been clinging and not really committing to the issues which we should be dealing with. And I think we are putting our head back, screwing it back. We're dealing with small chunks and small amount of things, kind of like to move us forward, sort of like daily kind of things. What kind of is confusing to me that it was a period where we wanted to go up and down at the same time. You can't do that. And it could be that we are still having leftovers from people who have maybe played with us, who maybe juggled, who maybe didn't go to us as their first choice, who maybe didn't want to commit, who were maybe saying with one side of their mouth they will and the other one they won't. And we kind of ended up being an embattled warrior. Just for those of you who don't know these cards, let me just read you the cards as well, because I keep forgetting this. We have Two of Pentacles. We have the Strength reversed. We have Nine of Swords. We have Two of Wands. The Empress is in the center. Then we have Page of Knave of Swords, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles reversed. So now, guess what? There are no cups. We are withdrawing this month emotionally. We are literally dealing with surface issues. It almost looks like scratch the surface to deal with things underneath. Underneath are things that are bothering us. Some big issues. Some kind of like, where is my direction? How do I want to go? What kind of process I want to kind of set up? And that can and will become a little bit overwhelming. We might be having somebody coming to our life. Be careful. December is a really difficult month to date. Very difficult. December, I think, in addition to February, has the biggest amount of breakups, because people are getting, some people, I would hope most people, but some people get to really understand who they are, what they need, and if we are not what they need, they kind of like set us free, or we set them free. And hence many of these things happen in December, which is also emotional, which can be lonely and sad, and everybody has their own agenda. And it looks like for us it's going to be just like that, but we will maybe act a little bit immaturely with this Knave of Swords here, and not so much that we want that, but more or less because some kind of like anxiety, knee-jerk reaction pushes us into it. This card, King of Pentacles, unless this is in the reading for Taurus or Earth sign, indicates for me the ultimate guy or partner that is not achievable, that is taken either by another person or otherwise, with their job, with their interest, or with their self-importance. They don't want to commit. In fact, they actually telling us we are clingy. Well, there are two sides of the story. We can still love, and loving is interdependence, right? Clinging is like, you need to do everything for me, provided for me, because this person is generally really just enjoying themselves. They are really having very little regard about somebody else. And maybe we have somebody like that in our life. That can be work, that can be home, and they will hear from us. not in the greatest possible manner. Okay, so let me just get this core, because this is kind of like the card of a mother, of creator, of balance, but somehow that can be like a little bit off, especially because I see these twos as well, telling me certain things that maybe partially have been built will just collapse. So let me see this Empress. You have lots of cards. So there's the element of really not having a focus, not really knowing where we are going, or just simply going with the flow without purposeful direction. And direction is absolutely needed. And we kind of like need to make this cut and figure out what doesn't work anymore. And look at that. That could be especially more so for those of you who have children. Because when I see the Empress and the High Priestess together, it definitely tells me mother and a child. And look at this. It kind of like it's taking a step back, because this kind of comes down. We feel manipulated. We feel we have invested into something for a long time, and we are not focusing to things that can be still recuperated. Instead, we are crying about spilled milk, things that have gone, they're lost. And we really resent the fact that most likely we have been manipulated. Again, guys, this is a range of feelings that we might have. 3, 2, 1. The major arcanas. As you notice, Mercury retrograde. We are retrograding. This is like the highly manipulative situation. If somebody telling us anything that they think we want to hear, somebody who is really quick-witted, somebody who can create stuff, and who is really believable. We know better. We know if things work. So just pay attention this month to what people are saying, and definitely don't sit around waiting. Do not be the clingy one, because this card is definitely saying, look at this, the bridge over troubled waters. It's time to go. And it's also especially a message to those of you who have children, or kind of like maybe considered, you know, something more meaningful with this person. Kind of like, I would say there's not going to be much possibility in this particular case. There's definitely other signs that I see. I see Taurus, I see Libra, I see Leo. What else? These are the major ones. But I think mostly I see us. I see us traversing onto something that will be better for us. 6 is just definitely the... See, we have the 2 8s. This is the harmony, like that is right in the middle. So we have like this 3 residing on the bottom, and the 6 sort of like, which I see as a solution out of it. But we kind of have to build some strength, which looks like we don't have. Looks like maybe our strength reservoir is empty. There's like no gas in the tank whatsoever. So we will be doing a small chunk. So there's no gas because it looks like things were coming to us from every possible direction. At some point we did have a strategy. At this point we just hope that things are just going to pass by. And sorry for such a downer tarot, but there is like a nugget of a really good news, that we are getting it. We are getting it. Look, it's not worth it. I am not going to spend my nerves. It's just not the way I am. I want to see this like King of Pentacles. What is his problem? Oh yeah, King of Pentacles, exactly as I said. It's somebody taken. It's somebody who's in a relationship with somebody else. Be very careful about this person, because he is going to forget to tell you this. Or he will be leading you on saying, you know, I am considering this with you. You know, like that. If you go to your boss and ask for a raise, well, maybe it's possible where they don't even have intent to kind of communicate this to somebody who is a higher up. And let me see the strength. What is the strength? Is this about us or it's about them? No, it's about them. I think maybe we are dealing with people in our lives who are full of it, who kind of always want to up us one. It's going to be a situation where everybody loses by trying to continue with the situation. This situation is coming to an end. This is the end of the phase, which is a good thing, because hey, there is a new beginning and we can kind of dream up, but we have to make this step. You know what they say, help yourself and God will help you. So it is time to move on. It is time to help ourselves, because you have to ask where you are. Is this where you want to be? Is that where your ancestors wanted you to be? Because this is a time to move on. All right, guys, so let's check now our general alignment for this month. Hi Aquarius, so let's see the Lenormand. And for those of you who are not familiar with Lenormand reading, it was actually Madame Lenormand who made these archetypes very famous, very popular. So this is where everything else grew from. Tarot seems to be older than Lenormand, but Tarot had different kind of phases, and Tarot is more or less used for higher kind of like consciousness, where this can kind of gives us a lay of the land. And I guess you cannot see it anywhere else. Well, I'm sure that people do actually read Grand Tableau, but not like on a monthly base as I do. So this is kind of unique over here. And we have few significators here, and we have few other possible people. So we have the lady and we have the gentleman. But given that this is a general reading, that can be interchangeable. So let me tell you what I see. Aquarius, this is the month when fate meets Aquarius. This was like out from the door. We are getting the cross, the fate card. Some rules, some regulations, some kind of karma. And it is something connecting us to our reputation. It is something connecting us to how do we want to move on. Very much go back to that ancestry, saying, okay, wait a minute. I am representing everything, not only me. I'm representing me in the person I am. I'm representing me as a part of my family. I'm representing me as a part of this company I work for, and I'm representing me as a part of this country. I am going somewhere. So we actually have much more meaning than we really want to give it to ourselves, and we are somehow getting that into our sometimes thick heads, if you wish, right? So what also I see over here, that there will be distinct kind of differences. Some of us will be dealing with a mountain, issues, problems, dealing with problems, clearing the problems, definitely trying to clear problems, especially there will be things from the past. So there's this Mercury retrograde, the sky and the tower, connecting things that can relate back to our house, any bills, anything that we didn't pay, taxes, all of these things that maybe have been placed on a back burner, because Mercury retrograde is not only accident prone, but Mercury retrograde has really good advantages, which is kind of like we need to go back to deal with things that we maybe didn't deal with, right? Maybe there was like something you say, oh, I'll deal with this and I just hate it, I'm avoiding it now. It's going to come back to the fore. And it's going to be lots of communication, lots of letters. I also see that some of you are due for a promotion. Something that didn't really look it would happen. Sometimes, to some of you, you were told, maybe even like, I mean, even last month, that, well, you're not qualified. I'm not giving you something. You didn't get a certain job. This can be revisited right now. You might get a contract, or you might get a promotion. And especially if you're applying for a new job, it's going to be interesting. It's not going to be exactly the job that you're going to love it and enjoy it. It's going to be a huge, steep learning curve about it. But it's going to be really well paid and really rewarding and really able to kind of like set you off on a new level if you go through that drill of learning. For the others, or maybe both at the same time, there might be a travel this month, small and big travel. Even if you didn't plan it, this can be something unsuspecting, because the fish is talking about some kind of like venture, some kind of adventure, something that could be a key to your job, to the business that you have, something that can actually really open doors. We are setting ourselves on a completely new crossroads. And this can be also somebody from a distance kind of getting in touch with us, maybe even visiting us or us visiting them. It's going to be lots of sexual attraction this month, and even love, and even babies, whether conceiving or delivering babies. There will be communication with somebody from the past. And it's going to seemingly look like this is a great thing. But it's going to go through the phases up and down. It's going to go, oh, I love you, to I don't want to be with you, to I'm proposing to you, or do you want to have children with me? And being happy about that, and then saying, well, I'm not so sure if I want to do that. Right? That will be the Mercury retrograde as well. And it will be also this overall thing, the theme that I see about us. And by the way, the Aquarius for 2018 is finished. If you want to order it, you will get it right away. And this is going to be a special price until the 4th, as I promised, even though I should switch at the moment when I do it, until the 4th of December. And then this $19.95 price is going to $29.95 price. So grab it. Go to my website, www.cattarot.ca, because I do see lots of things that is going the next year, and next year is going to be great. So at least you have the path how to get there. These crossroads are starting here, and they will definitely pay off the next year. You just have to know how and which one to take. So guys, from what I see here in the alignment for December, it's definitely going to be Mercury retrograde with capital letters, meaning every single aspect of our life will have to be the stone turned. Everything. We will not be able to take absolutely anything for granted, because the gentleman is coming in the house of the Tower. This is not the same as tarot, and the Tower doesn't mean destruction in this particular deck. Even though in this particular reading, it can mean that, because we have the sky cutting the Tower over here. And also we have the whip over here. So it could be that we need to rebuild certain things differently, better. We have to figure out what was wobbly and what kind of banana peel did we stand, and who are the people in our life. It could be also a third person, guys, that somebody has, or that somebody will cut off, or somebody will cut off relationship because of this third person. It could be even that the third person is getting pregnant, and maybe initially we say yes to something, but finding this out, it's like, the deal is off. You lay down your bed, you lay in that bed, off you go. It's hard, of course it's hard, but sometimes it's really, really necessary. The key for this month will be reputation. And literally, guys, we'll be experiencing karma. This month is the month of karma, and it cannot be summarized better. We literally will have to clear all the karmic debts. So hence, even the small nagging things like taxes, things that we put on a back burner, really, really, really have to be kind of pulled out. And ladies are coming in a house of a fox, so some job related things will be very important. Maybe doing things differently. Maybe we did run into some issues at work, and hence feeling a little bit kind of taken back by the situations, by the circumstances. And that new aspect or new strategy is going to help us move forward. Okay, and lastly, let's look into the gypsy, where we can see not only general but also people and their emotions as well, and how they process them. Okay guys, Gypsy spread again. This is only at Cat Tarot. There are like 52 cards in this deck, and I'm reading all of them simultaneously. And again, this is a general reading, guys. For your private reading, please contact me at www.cattarot.ca, and that way you you kind of like really get your vibrations, because now I'm just trying to see what is the common theme for everybody. There are a few significators, quite a few significators. Like as you can see, there are more people rather than symbolism. These are actions. So here we have the Lover, we have Lord, which generally signifies that you're somebody married or somebody more solid in their reputation, somebody who is romantic sort of a thing. Then we have Foe, We have young woman, we have enemy, and then we have the sweetheart reversed, and we have a wife card. Where is she? There she is, reversed. And wife can be wife, it can be somebody with a child, which I think in this case particular this is. So let me just give you storylines that I actually see over here. I actually see a really interesting thing. It could be not maybe one, but two men coming. But it will be kind of like maybe a choosing the wrong one. Somebody is literally looking like they have their act together. But, oh my gosh, they are looking on the outside as very fortunate and kind of like well off, but they are nothing short of disaster. Especially if you're a guy dating a guy, it could be some kind of, mind you, here I really don't read them as a gender because all of them can be stories, but I really see this message really kind of coming out intensely. It could be some kind of reunion happening. And a reunion after maybe there was a third person involved and certain things just looked dead. Not going further. Beware. It's going to start nicely. It's going to start building something. Some of you might even go into counseling, especially those of you who have been living together or are married. You might also have some friends who will be really, really helpful and loyal to you. But ultimately, there will be some core issues that will need to be resolved. So it is kind of push and pull into direction. And one is like, you did it to me. Another one, I want to have fun with you, right? So this is the duality that we have when we deal with somebody we like, but somebody who harmed us. And I see that especially the people who have situations that they're either live-in situations or something will be actually going through a mixed bag of things, from wondering who is a friend, who is a foe, with whom can you have a conversation, because literally it might be two people around you at any given time that one is really wishing you all the best, another one isn't, another one is giving to this person, or maybe even the person that is more than willing to flirt with your mate, and you're confining all these kind of like really things that you really hope that this person is a friend. Yet there is another person who might actually come carrying something to you that, so see, it's one of those situations, who is a friend, who is an enemy. Sometimes, and I did say a really, really lousy version of the bird joke, sometimes the people who basically shit on you, sometimes people who give you bad news are not necessarily your enemies. They are actually the people who are trying to wake you up from your cluelessness, right? And I can tell you this, I mean, as a therapist, sometimes I open my big mouth when there like shouldn't be opening them up, because of course I don't stop at, you know, like certain time of a day and say, well, now it's like my job is over. I kind of keep continuing with this. And so I've seen somebody who is not exactly a friend, but who's continuously really in my face and look at what my child did, almost like these people want to prove how great job they're doing. And I have seen the basically paintings of a little child that have been overly sexualized, that have been, I mean, the child is 9-year-old, and I really didn't like the image she presented. And then she started to all of a sudden paint all immaterial objects, phones, televisions, etc. So I said, like, well, listen, I'm just wondering about, are you engaging with them, etc. Oh my gosh, it was like the bomb exploded in my face. But if you hear something like that, it was not meant to offend you. It was meant to kind of like bring your attention to something that maybe you're slipping from. So be very careful, very, very careful this month who you consider a friend and who is an enemy. In fact, it's almost going to look the opposite. That people who are like really nice and dandy toward you will be the one who will be undermining you, because look at his friend here has undermining your marriage and also gossiping behind you, spreading lies about you, while you have this enemy who is basically helping you, especially if you have a child, bringing like you something that can be a bond in the near future, that you can build something, and warning you about this person and you're not believing this person. So keep that in mind. There'll be lots of questions about loyalty this month, people. Lots. For the single ones, it looks like single ones don't want to be in a relationship. Single ones are sitting on a fence and saying, you know what, let me think through it. This is my month. I kind of like need to get rid of issues. Things didn't go, and maybe even some of us are bearing things that have to be put to sleep, and to be happy with ourselves, who we are, and to be ready for intimacy, but in the right way. And kind of renegotiating things that maybe have happened in the past. For some of you, for some of us, it could have been a long distance relationship that happened, that we feel has been damaging to us, caused us lots of sorrow, and maybe the communication has stopped and we feel something has been taken away from us. I think one person in the situation has been married, and maybe the promise was to get out of it, but this promise didn't materialize, and one person left, and I think it was mostly us who left. So it is that healing that I saw it initially that is taking place on all levels. So literally our eyes are going to play games with us. Our ears are going to play games with us. And that's what I said. This is the fate. And we really have to be much smarter and much more careful being and dealing and wheeling this month, because nothing is going to appear as it is. You see an apple, it's going to be a banana. You know this commercial, apple, 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 banana, banana, banana. Now what you see it is an apple. Yes, it is an apple. But if somebody messed with that apple and put a whole bunch of banana flavor in it, it's going to taste like a banana. And that's exactly what we're going to be thinking this month. Oh my gosh, I thought this is an apple. Why does this taste kind of like so weird? Why like this friend is devastating me? Like she's so nice, and so how come this is not happening? So be careful who you share, who you kind of confide in it. It looks like some of you might go to therapy, and some of you might go to get a tarot reader to kind of like trying to clarify this to you. Who is who I can be faithful to, who can I be loyal to, who I can trust. The core reading is literally who we are as Aquarians. This friend seems to be the center of the reading, and who our friends are, and mostly what kind of friend we are to ourselves, and what do we want for ourselves. Because definitely I can see we do want this fortune, but be careful, because one of these guys or one of these people coming our way is this big promiser, but he's bringing this like huge cloud of misfortune. And this is not just a tower like in the other deck. This is disaster. Somebody who can keep us waiting, make us waiting, somebody who is having somebody on the side and who is continuously wooing, and that was that magician. It could be somebody also who made somebody else pregnant, so keep that in mind as well. So I did also draw one more card from the Enchanted map, and this is going to be to seal this reading. So what do we have here? We have dolphins. I cannot tell you how happy I am to see dolphins, but I'm not happy to see somebody riding the dolphin, because just like I don't want somebody to ride me, I'm pretty sure dolphins are not happy in this situation either. But this is what it says. Right now, success is easy and effortless. You can be assured that you're entering a time when you can ride a wave of abundance. The tide has turned, and you can put your surfing skills to the test, surfing quote unquote. Everything that you know, all your talents, coupled with your hopes and dreams, will carry you forward. People and circumstances have come out of the ocean of potential and possibility to take shape in a way of spectacular activity. Know that you're definitely on the right path. Yes, guys, we are definitely on the right path. Order your 2018 www.cattarot.ca/pre-order, or just go on cattarot.ca. So this is really sealing really well, especially with the very first card that has been ancestry. So we are sort of like coming back into our element. Dolphins are mammals like us. They're communicators like us. So it is a new way of communicating that we will have to actually figure it out. because we cannot keep doing what we were doing, because things actually haven't been easy and haven't been working out. And this goody two shoes that we get to be at times, and then just explosion in the end when it doesn't work, it's just like not the system that we will be willing to do or continue to do. So Aquarius, hopefully this was helpful. I would love to see your comments, and until the next time, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I love you.